What's going on, YouTube? What's up? Operating from a place of fear. Had somebody message me saying that I shouldn't put my private thoughts out there, and that it's probably a better idea not to do this, I guess. But that's exactly what I was, just kind of thinking about earlier. Was when you operate from a place of fear, you really can't make any movement in life. And that's what I was just kind of thinking about. I was like this whole channel is just about me pushing the narrative and trying to do something, branch out, be something more. I don't know. You just never know what's gonna happen unless you have courage and take steps. And obviously, you want to protect yourself and take steps to do your best with that. But if I don't push the envelope somewhere in life, I'll never go anywhere. And really, that's all this channel is about. It's just basically my thoughts and talking. And I don't care. I'm not special. I'm just a guy on earth. I have thoughts and opinions, and I have people I love and all that stuff. I'm the same in that regard. But if I don't muster the courage to actually put myself out there and start to do some of these ideas that I'm having in my head, then I'll never go anywhere, and I'll just be a working man. I'll just be 9 to 5, and it's really something when you start to really think and critique yourself and really start to, I don't know, for lack of a better word, kaleidoscope, pulling apart who you are, your ideas, asking yourself the tough questions, just really not giving yourself any room. You're really taking accountability for everything that's really happened in your life up to this point. That's kind of where my mindset is right now. So operating from a place of fear is gonna make sure I never do any of that. And so I read the comment, and it kind of just kind of struck me in that way, where it's you can be fearful that somebody's gonna take something you said and turn it on you, or clip something, or who knows, the world's crazy. But no matter what, something bad's gonna happen. So you might as well try and do what you can while you have time. And I mean that in the sense you are going to die someday, and I do mean that in the sense that you're gonna die before that. Because if you don't live out your dreams by the time, I'm getting up there in age now, and I want to live, right? So, but I also want to meet meet new people, meet new experiences, meet new opportunities, meet new horizons. And as I change and evolve, and obviously another part of this channel is me working on my health and accountability, and just trying to give a damn about anything. It's real easy to not give an F. It's real easy. I'm sure some of you have some wild stories. I think we've all been through a lot in life, especially now. I think that's kind of the cookie cutter template. You have to get through some of those crucibles. For women, there's a lot of things that they experience that are much different from us men. So along those lines, I've dealt with a lot of women in the hospital, and I get that was a secluded, that's just one caveat, that's one little layer that's actually part of this big issue or world or whatever we got going here. But at the same time, it's just my bad. At the same time, I'm gonna get a haircut soon, whatever, just trim it up. But it's getting out of control now. But anyways, that job, it was 105 patients, and the baseline was that you had to want to yourself. That's the base. Then all of the diagnoses, he's bipolar, MDD recurrent, any of that stuff, right? So what medications they're on. So, if we're talking about behavior control, then we're talking about like Haldol, Zyprexa, Thorazine. It's a much older one. I don't know. There's a long list of drugs. If you're talking about just medications, the list is so long. Abilify, Invega, Depakote, Wellbutrin. I mean, all of these things that have different effects and different contributions. But back to my main point was like I had a long career dealing with women, dealing with men, but more often with women when it came to like fear. That's the word I can go with, because women become very fearful in a lot of ways, because what I noticed was they are more affected in the prey category than a male is. We're both victims of being preyed upon. For instance, men too are preyed upon, but men usually have more defenses and more physical prowess to defeat this situation. And a lot of times other predators aren't preying on men. So, it happens. Don't get me wrong. And it's much higher than it was back in the day. The numbers are off the charts now for males. And I think that's a hidden thing that people aren't really talking about. That's a conversation that people aren't really having. But I was in the hospital, so I know it is happening. It happens a lot more than people want to think. And those men, it's hard. There's no space for them. They don't talk. They don't have nowhere. It's not as acceptable to talk about it for a man. So I've talked about this at great length with a lot of women. Like I said, 105 patients, 20 to a unit, 10 to a unit. I worked 2 different units most of the time, but all the units whenever there's a situation that I had to go deal with. So, there's a lot there. And yeah, fear is the thing that's controlling most of us, that holds most of us back from our potential. So when I read that comment, it just like, it's like, man, I get, or, well, I'm not sure, I forget the name now. I apologize. I'll go back and basically see who that was that said that. I do appreciate the comment. But it just struck me like most of the time we're operating out of fear in life, and it's something that I've worked at great length to change, because it doesn't take very much for you to overcome it, really. And once the ball gets rolling, like I see it a lot of times when we're part of a treatment team, and there's a doctor and a nurse and the case manager and the therapist and the social worker, then there's me, the floor person. I'm the floor nurse. I'm not even a nurse, basically. I say nursing security. The official is like a mental health worker or a mental health aide or a tech aide or med tech. Basically the person on the floor taking care of everything. The problem was mine was for profit, and they always had like really crappy employees. So that's kind of where we're at with that. One sec. All right, yeah. So my bad. Anyways, fear is the one thing that's really stopping us. I forgot where I was at. Something happened, so I had to pause. Whatever. Anyways, back to my original point. Yes, I worked at great length to defeat fear. Once you get the ball rolling, it's very, very easy to see yourself in different ways. Basically, you just have to take a journey and immerse yourself. But more on that. I'm just basically lightly touching on the fact that I couldn't not put out these videos just because I'm afraid, or I'm afraid somebody's going to say something or put a comment out and say something in response, or like talk about my appearance or my broken ass rotten teeth or whatever, or that you're homeless. Like, I don't care. I'm not special enough to think that somebody's going to take the time to even give a damn do something bad to me, unless I go out of my way to do something bad to them. But it is the internet. You just never know. But I could give a damn. Like, the only other thing that can happen to me that's worse than my is death. Like, what more? I'm already at the bottom. So be afraid of what? I already have nothing. Like, I have a car, so I have that, which is what protects me from pushing a cart here. But gosh, I don't understand how those people can do that. That's amazing. But the point of this channel and me is just to be more accountable in my life, and to like kind of force myself to take the steps that I need to take to resurrect myself, right? To fix my teeth, to fix my weight. So I'm probably 60, 70 pounds overweight now than I should be. And or my target weight usually is. So, you know, just get out of this sad ass rut that I've been in for the past couple years, trying to off myself or whatever from freaking life, just bad habits and shit. So I'm just gonna keep trying. I don't know, it's my thoughts, but yeah, that's me. You know, if you guys you know, watch my videos and listen to what I say, and have anything to say and comment, then, you know, say it. You know, if I'm ugly, say it. I don't give a damn. Like, whatever. I am. But yeah, you know, like, this is just, that's what I am. Like, I'm creating a space for me to be able to say what I want to say, whatever, you know. As long as I keep it within the YouTube guidelines, then, you know, maybe I'll find a couple people that want to rock with me and talk to me, and that's kind of why I'm here. So, but more on that later. Thanks for rocking with your boy. I'll catch you next time. Oh yeah, no, like, sub, comment, you know, interact with your boy over here. Anyways, stay blessed. Peace.